Hey guys, I wanted to do a quick video on a recent acquisition of mine, which is a SwissMicros DM42n. This is not a review, and this is definitely not an in-depth overview of this calculator in terms of its functionality. There are plenty of videos out there showing how to use the calculator, some of the functionality, how it compares with the original 42S from HP, all those things you can find. Very good content out there from some much better YouTubers when it comes to this content than I am. However, what I wanted to talk about is this specific model being the most recent, and based on the hardware refresh they did with the DM32, became of high interest to me because I'm interested in running the C47 firmware. And from what I understand, they're trying to work on some additional functionality that would take advantage of the additional RAM that this has available to its disposal with the revised SoC part. However, this video is actually about the keyboard, and this has been a controversy with SwissMicros devices for ages, since basically the conception of the first DM42 back in 2017 or so. And so the move from the old hardware to the new one came with a slew of upgrades, and apparently most people believe that the keyboard was going to be more reliable. The feel is different, a little bit more clicky, that sort of thing, which some people find better or worse. But the most important part isn't so much the feel as it is the reliability of the actual keys themselves. And my particular unit actually has a problem, and this is brand new. I bought it as soon as they finally came up on Amazon, because Amazon had the DM42 for the longest time. And then I think sometime in the last 3 or 4 days as of this recording, which I actually have the date here, it's Saturday, August 30th, 2025. So a few days ago, they finally updated the page, and now the units that you will receive are DM42Ns as long as you purchase brand new and not the returns that Amazon Warehouse has sometimes. So my calculator is fresh. However, there is a curious thing about it. If you look at the serial number, right there is 43. This is a very early DM42N unit, and this unit came out about a year ago. So my guess is this was working its way through the warehousing process or whatever. There was like a batch of them that was slated for Amazon, or potentially was already there. But the vendor might have asked for them to be set aside until they sold all the remaining inventory of the DM42s. So this is a very early unit for all intents and purposes. They've been in the market again for about a year or so. So I would venture to say these ones were in the first shipped batch from SwissMicros over to the US. And I bought it brand new, but obviously being an early one, that means that if they had some issues with the production line, assembly, whatever, this might have been afflicted by it. And this one in particular has 3 keys that happen to have problems, and all of the keys work perfect except for LN, down arrow, and my shift key. So these 2 are the ones that are a little bit more important to me, obviously, because of the normal usage. And one thing that I wanted to, and I don't know if it's going to be picked up on the camera or on the microphone itself, but I'm just going to do this. So these are keys that are actually functional. So hopefully you can hear that. And now I'm going to actually do the same thing, but with the keys that are not working. And I don't know if you can pick that up or not pick it up, but the 3 keys that are almost non-functional do not click. They just make like a really subtle bump noise. And they actually remind me more of like the keys in the 15C calculator, or even the 35S. Even though the 35S, they're a little bit softer and easier to press, but these ones have tactility to them, but they don't make a click noise. And the reliability on them is very low. I'm talking the actual down arrow sometimes has like a 30% success rate. And I'll set the calculator real quick to, let me see if I can show you this while I do it. So I'm going to go ahead and set this over to test mode. Okay, and then go up here to self-test. I'm going to do the keyboard test, and then this will beep. It's going to be slight right now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to press just a regular key a couple of times. and every press is accompanied by a beep. But I'm going to do the same thing with the down arrow. You can actually hear me. I'm pressing it pretty hard. There it goes. It beeped once. Another time. Barely works. And then the shift key, same thing. A little bit more reliable. But I'd say it misses probably about 60% of the key presses it misses. This one is missing close to 80%. There it goes. Sometimes even more than that. So I have that problem. This key also has the same issue. So 3 keys total are having the same problem, and they all 3 have the same symptom when you touch them, where they don't actually click. So I think it might be something to do with the domes themselves. So I am going to reach out to SwissMicros and ask them if this is something that could be resolved by getting a replacement. Basically the foil domes. I don't know what that entire assembly is called, but it's the one that has an adhesive and I can replace. Other than that, the calculator itself is in, amazing condition. I have no issues with the actual LCD display. All of the functions work, and when those keys work, they do what they're assigned to do. So just wanted to show you guys that these newer units, I don't know if it has anything to do with the serial number and being so old or early in the production, but definitely something going on with the quality control in these. And it is a shame. It is a very nice calculator otherwise, and I really hope that SwissMicros is able to solve all these problems with their manufacturing or assembly line. I don't know if they receive the parts and they put them together themselves, but there should be a little bit more quality control, and something like this should be rejected. I don't think that this is something that should pass in any way, shape, or form. When you have that much unreliability of keys, especially keys that are often used, there should be some quality control there, and either replace the actual switches or do something else. Whatever you need to do, redesign to the case if it's something to do with the way the keys are. But yeah, I don't want to cast any kind of negative shade on these. They're amazing devices. I just want to make sure that SwissMicros hears us out. I'm sure that it's heard this many times, but in particular, as they move on to newer models like they did with this one, the expectation is things are going to get better, not worse. And so if we're having this kind of quality control continuously, eventually people are going to question the specific, price range that these things sit at. So SwissMicros, please solve these quality control problems. Don't wait until people receive them and then they have a bad perception. Somebody like me, I'm just going to reach out and hopefully be able to resolve it with them. Most people will probably send this right back, and that becomes costly for a small company. I hope some of you find this useful, maybe helps you with some decision making. I will do a follow-up once I receive a response from them to see what the solution is and go from there. Thanks for watching.